Are you messing around with anything?
I was for a split second. I was changing something.
No, don't mess around with anything.
I'm not touching.
Why are you all... Mixer's going. Mixer's going, gone.
Mixer might as well be gone.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this?
At first I was really like against the decision, but you kind of talked me down. It kind of makes sense in the end. Like they tried really hard over the course of many, many years to take off, and it didn't. It's a shame because the tech in Mixer was amazing,
right?
But it is what it is, and they're realistically just selling the tech to Facebook. And they're like, we're partnering with Facebook, and it's like, are you?
Right?
Well, yeah. Oh, so are you integrating their systems? No. Well, what are you doing? Don't worry about it.
So that's the thing. Like, my understanding with this partnership with Facebook is that it very much is a partnership. There was no monetary exchange. And I would argue that the FTL that Mixer has over all the other streaming services, Faster Than Light, which we talked about in the last podcast. If you haven't heard about what that is, go check that out. But FTL is allows sub-second latency. So when you do something in the game, people in the chat can respond immediately. So there's not like a 10, 15 second delay. And a lot of other competitors to Mixer, aka Twitch, Facebook Gaming, Caffeine, Turbo, they don't have this. So there's always a delay. And that was one thing that Mixer had going for it. One thing against all the other things not going for it. Eyeballs, advertising revenue, user base. Like the average user base for Mixer was less than the average user base for Facebook. And as much as you and I are not fans of Facebook here in the United States, we have to be aware that Facebook doesn't have such a negative appeal to people outside the US. So one thing you and I notice, yes, tons of people are leaving to go to Twitch, but there are a few people that are going to Facebook because the country of origin that they are from, Facebook is like, hey, I'm on Facebook. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll add you or I'll follow you or whatever it is. Right. So it kind of makes sense for those individuals. Mm. It was just kind of, the move to go to Facebook, or rather the move to support Facebook like Mixer was doing. I don't know. It just seemed like a really tone-deaf move at this moment. Because Facebook is in continuous hot water. And not about streaming. They're in continuous hot water over more politically driven issues, which, again, we're not going to get into right now. But, it's like, if you're not a fan of what Facebook is doing on the political side, would you be a fan of what they're doing on the gaming side? Like, you and I both use Instagram. Does that mean that we're hypocrites? Kind of. Right?
Well, we gotta use something, right? I mean,
sure, but
something has to give to stay in touch with friends and stuff like that. Because I agree. You might be vehemently against Facebook and the company and all that kind of stuff. It is what it is. Like, people are using it, and if you want to see pictures from your friends and from your family and stuff, then you gotta do something. And like for me, my thing that I've been trying to do is just stop using Facebook entirely, because every time I get on there, I see stuff that's politically driven when I'm like, I want to see pictures of friends, pictures of family, that kind of thing. Show me your ski trip, show me your boating trip, whatever. But I don't want to see like you posting 30 times a day about your political opinion or how some other political team or whatever you want to call them is doing something dumb. It's like, I'm not here for this.
Right. And
somehow they always, what I'm seeing more and more is even people doing the thing where it's like, I'm having such a great day here in the woods, and this is because of this, and it's like something political.
Right.
And
it's like somehow they're not connected at all.
yeah, they're tying happiness to, oh, I'm only happy because good things, in my opinion, are happening in politics. And it's just like, okay, I'm kind of done. I'm going to move. I'm going to go over to Instagram where it's just photos, and I'm seeing less and less of that there. And hopefully that stays that way, but we'll see.
I rarely see people posting their own political views on Instagram. Now, obviously, that's their prerogative, and I've seen some of it maybe in Instagram stories, but at least the people that I follow on Instagram, it's a rare occurrence, which is nice. The curation that I've upkept with Instagram, I see the things that you want: pictures of families, pictures of food, and pictures of cool like PC setups and maybe guns every once in a while. But
you can't go wrong with pictures of food.
Right. But the second that something comes up that it's like, oh, I need to take a stance on this thing. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to scroll past, and I hope that I don't see that again. I don't think less of you as a person. I just don't want to think about that right now.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
I came here. Yeah, right. No, it's just like, it doesn't matter what the politics entails, whether it be A or B or X or Y, it doesn't matter. It's just like, I don't want to see it, period. I came here for not that.
Right. No, I completely agree. The whole reason why I joined social media is to reconnect with old friends. And while when we became friends, our political agenda wasn't, the crux of why we are, tied together. I respect whatever that is that you believe in, but I don't want to be bombarded with it. That's the problem. It's the bombardment of your beliefs, and I would also think that if I were to tell you every single day what I believe in and what flag I raise to the sky and who I salute to, you would be upset too if you had an opposing view. And I really just, I don't want that. And I bring this up on the podcast a number of times, but I look at my fiance's Facebook feed, and I scan over there, and like, that's why I'm not friends with your cousins, because as much as I love them as people, I don't want to see that, because not 100%. That it's not that I would look at them any less or have any less respect for them necessarily. I guess it all depends on the subject matter, but I just don't want to be inundated with that sort of stuff.
Right.
I don't know. It's just something to say. But going back to the whole Facebook gaming mixer, and I guess the other third big party would be Twitch. I mean,
the big thing is now, the big most important news is that we are on Twitch now.
We are. Firewall is on Twitch at Firewall, and I'm at Twitch under Lazy Tech Tony. So you could take our gamer tags from Xbox, which are, if you're watching the video, plainly put right here. Oh no, right here.
Oh, close.
For both of us, and type that into Twitch, and you'll find us. We would definitely appreciate the follow. If you're here to watch the podcast on Twitch live, it's something that I'm testing out, and Quinnton was not privy to this. And
I was surprised by.
I just started doing this because one of the things that I have taken into consideration, and I told you this, was this move to Twitch has given us a new beginning. And I want to start the new beginning right. And while that might mean some changes on my end, that doesn't mean it's a change forever. It's just something I want to try. And I think the vulnerability that it does put out, because we are live, and anybody can come in right now to watch you pick your nose live. Don't worry about it. And the recording, it's I'm not going to show that part. Hopefully. But
you'll make that the stinger.
There you go. We'll just make it a open door close motion of one of us with our finger all the way up to our brain. I'm honestly very excited for this move to Twitch. Most people on Twitch have been very happy. They've been welcoming us with open arms. There's definitely been a little bit of pushback from existing Twitch people saying, how did these people that were Mixer partner getting Twitch partner so quickly? And I've been on Twitch X amount. I've hit all the minimum requirements for Twitch partnership, and I'm not Twitch partnership.
Honestly, the easiest answer as someone who's not a Twitch partner is it's the thing where, like, when you're with one telephone company and the other telephone company wants you to come over, they want you to, so they're going to incentivize, hey, don't go to any others, come to us and we'll make it worth your while. We'll give you your first 10 bills for free. We'll give you your phone for free. We'll pay your activation fees, your deactivation fees. We'll do whatever we can. And so you see these people over here that are partners, and they're getting offers from YouTube, from Facebook, from all these different places.
Sure.
The answer is they're going, hey, we're with Twitch. Come over to us, and we'll give you partner status immediately, so you can start where you left off. And then you think, okay, I'm partner, and then I can start making ad revenue. I can start doing all the things I was already doing.
Right.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Oh, totally. I think from the perspective of the people that are already on Twitch, they see the incentivization that these quote unquote new people are getting. It's like, what am I, chopped liver? Like, I've been on Twitch. I was here from the beginning or whenever. I have shown that
since day one.
Yeah, but like, if that person was on Twitch for X amount of years, like, I've been here, I've promoted your brand, and you still haven't made me partner. One thing I'll say to those individuals is, the Mixer streamers work just as hard, and it kind of goes back to what Quinnton was saying. Like, it's a business. There does need to be some incentivization to move to certain platforms. And granted, those people are probably going to go to Twitch anyways. But
why not make them Twitch for lifers?
Exactly. As long as Amazon doesn't do anything stupid. I remember when the news broke, you and I were actually playing. We were doing a live stream and an Xbox training.
We found out on stream. That was rough.
On Mixer. We found out on stream, on Mixer, hey, July 22nd, Mixer's shutting down. And you were like, is this a joke? I'm like, doesn't look like it. And it's on The Verge, it's on Engadget, it's on IGN. Hello. This is getting real here. What is going on? Yeah, this is getting too real. I don't like it. No, but in all honesty, man, I mean, this is going to be good for us. And like I said, I've already gotten a lot of support from existing streamers on Twitch. I've gotten support from people, what they're calling Mixer refugees. To like, I wouldn't necessarily call it a follow for follow, but it is a follow for follow. Like, hey, we need to get up to affiliate. And that's one thing I love about Mixer, is that they do have those milestones, and that you get updates regarding those milestones. Like, hey, you did 7 out of 7 days streaming. That's one requirement to your path to affiliate. Hey, you've had this amount of average viewers per stream. You need to work on that. But you also have this amount of followers out of 50 on your path to affiliate. Great job. It's like, oh, cool. This positive reinforcement is encouraging me to want to keep on going. And I honestly, I really like that kind of interaction with someone like myself, who's like literally starting from ground zero.
Right. Or especially starting over. That's the rough part. I feel bad for everyone that's moving over from Twitch. I mean, we ran into one of them today, and we're talking to them, and they're streaming on both platforms, so they can kind of like tell people over on Mixer, like, hey, come over here. We're over here now. Come on.
Right. Yeah. So I guess the thing that we would say to end this topic is, if you're into gaming, if you're into podcasting, if you're into how-tos, or even just chatting, those are all things that both Quinnton and I do over at Twitch. So go to twitch.tv/Untitled twitch.tv/LazyTechTony, and then also twitch.tv/Firewall. It's spelled that weird way with numbers, letters, and
it's the right way. Thank you. In the last 2 weeks since we last talked, I had my first COVID scare, I guess. We went to the beach with some family, which we all knew were doing the right thing for someone's birthday. And the birthday person brought along a friend I didn't know or anything. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to maintain some distance because I don't know them. I don't know what they've been doing. I don't know their story, and I don't know if I can trust them. So I'm just going to, be respectful and keep my distance and just chat with them and stuff. So they got tested the day before beach day and didn't tell anyone, didn't quarantine, didn't do any of that. And then beach day, come to find out, yeah, they have COVID. And so we all have to get tested then. And it's the same day we're planning like a thing with friends where, again, it's just a small group of friends that we're around all the time and, keep the circle small, that kind of thing. But we're planning something with them and we've already seen them in the interim, right? And so now everybody has to get tested. The party, if you can even call it that, the get together is canceled because it was going to involve my wife's family. And we hung out on their lawn talking about how we all need to get tested. Well, we actually went and got tested like that hour. We drove to various testing locations here in Utah.
Right.
All got tested, then all got back together, grouped up, and hung out. But yeah, that was fun.
How irresponsible do you have to be to go to a testing facility and then say, okay, well, I have to wait a few days. What am I going to do on my days while I wait? I'll go to the beach with friends. That sounds like a wonderful idea.
It's wonderful. It sounds amazing. I mean, might as well, right?
I mean, what else are you going to do? Clearly, that's the thing that you need to do.
Right.
I just, when you told me about this and you were, keeping us up to date with, pretty much all the steps via Snapchat and stuff like that. Yeah, right. I gotta tell you, man, I wasn't like super scared. I was minorly scared. Like I feel like you're definitely one of those to err on the side of caution. And I think you had expressed to me before, I barely had any interaction with the guy. I didn't give him a high five, no elbow to elbow thing, and I barely was in his like mass. But at the same time, it's not him that would necessarily spread it. It's the other people, and those other people are also your family. And like, hey, Quinnton, how are you? Oh, I'm good. Oh, by the way, I'm infected, but I don't know that I am. Oh, that's how that works.
Yeah. No, it was just an eye opener of just like, oh, geez. And like, I'm very happy to have a job where, they took it seriously and they're like, hey, you take the time off, go get tested. We'll see you on the other side. Hope all is well. And all was well. But it's still just like, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't something that I want any of my friends to have to go through. And incidentally, our friend in South Utah had to go through it. You guys went through it.
Yeah.
Now
can I just mention the testing itself? Not that bad.
I think honestly. It depends on who tests you. Like anything else. Who gives you a haircut? Who does your your dentist, fixes your crown? Any of those evasive? Okay, haircut's not evasive. That's a bad example. But like who's your dentist or who does like anything like that? There's always the good side, invasive. Right? There's always the good side and there's always the bad side. Right. Another example, maybe not the greatest example, but another example that comes to mind would be I was going to say pediatricians. That's not who I'm talking about. The manicurists or people that give manicures and pedicures.
Right.
Those individuals, some of them are amazing, and some of them just do not care. You're like, ow! Oh, they're like, I'll grow a pair. I'm like, no, that really hurts. I'm bleeding. So it does all kind of depend on who it is. I think.
Right. Honestly, that with all of us going to different testing centers, like it wasn't that bad though. Like it just basically felt like I don't know, like sneezed soda, like someone made you laugh while you were drinking soda and it went up your nose a little and it got all tingly for a couple minutes, but afterwards it was fine.
Yeah, that's not the greatest feeling though.
Oh no I'm not saying it's all gumdrops and rainbows. I'm just saying it's not like, because I've seen videos of like there was a video of a Marine and they're just like jamming it down into his nostril and he's sitting there like convulsing like, oh, this is the worst.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy hell.
Yeah.
And no, it was seriously just like, whoop, there you go. All right, you're good. Have a good day.
Bye.
Yeah.
Have fun storming the castle. Now
hopefully at home, but
right. No, I'm truly happy to find out that all is well for my Utah friends. So at least in our group of friends, the only people that need to be infected now are folks from Cali and Texas.
There we go.
And I mean, not making a joke, but kind of making a joke. Texas, so our respective friend needs to be a little bit extra careful right now, I'd say. We also had kind of a resurgence of the virus up here in Northern California.
Yeah, Utah too.
I have yet to really have an interaction with anybody who's like, I'm not wearing a mask to go into Walmart or anything. But I have gone into like a Walmart or a Rayleigh's where they're wearing their mask, but it's only covering their mouth, not their nose.
Oh my word.
And I'm like,
my personal favorite has been
how this works?
Covering the beard. Just
yes, that's
right
the worst.
Just right down here. Yeah.
Like,
it's just like, well, I'm glad your chin isn't going to get infected. I'm so happy for you. It's not super what we're worried about, but
yeah, it honestly doesn't make any sense to me how people are like I don't want to get political about it, so I won't. It honestly doesn't make sense to me how people think the masks are controlling, but also that they're not going to help at all. And you had said something to me the other day regarding wearing masks in restaurants and stuff like that, because I know you're in favor of wearing masks in restaurants before you eat. I at first wasn't, but then you made sense. And what you had said was, it's not going to kill you to wear your mask for 20 minutes before the food comes. And you're 100% right. It's not going to kill us. And guess what? We went to Mel's and we had them wear a mask. And hello, I'm still here. And the food was delicious. So it's really not that big of a deal. So I'm a dad, and I've also owned dogs. And my fiance has no cats. My fiance's she has 2 dogs right now, and if you've listened to this podcast, you've heard them jingling in the background. I vehemently do not favor the term, unless you're doing it in a jokesy way, like being a parent to a fur baby. Like I'm a dad. It's like, oh yeah, you have a kid? Well, I'm a dad, but my it's a fur baby. I have a cat. Excuse me?
Okay.
Yeah, he's a cat, and I love him. Oh, okay, but you're not a dad. Yeah, I am. I'm a dad to a fur baby. No, I'm not. No, you're not. And when this came up in our group of friends, again, I don't know if our other friend was kind of joking about it, but you sounded like, no, it's totally fine to call yourself a parent of a fur baby.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean,
how do you want to, like, I love this podcast that you and I have because it gives us a way to air our differences without somebody else in the background going, joking or anything like that. We can be,
Right.
you and I can be adults about it and have a really good heart-to-heart conversation about it. I know where you stand. You know where I stand.
Right.
Do you want to go ahead and say why you think it's okay?
I mean, I should probably clarify, if you're like so ingrained in that you're like, no, they are equal, then there's a problem. But like, you can say it with seriousness of like, to the seriousness that it is. Like, yeah, I'm a dad to a fur baby. Like, you can say something like that where you're like, I know it is not the same level and I am fully recognizing that, but I'm not trying to allude to the fact that I'm at the same level as someone who has an actual child.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can leave a dog or a cat at home. Like, you can leave them in their crate. You can leave them just in the house and they'll be self-sufficient and they'll be like 2 years old. You can't do that with a kid. It's going to take you like 10 years before they are fully self-sufficient minimum, right?
Right. And that's kind of the conversation that you and I were having a couple of days ago. I think it was about a week ago, if I'm not mistaken,
right,
about this. And I don't think that you and I had enough time to process how we wanted to have this conversation. And now that it's been a week, I feel like that we are actually on the same page.
Right.
I agree with what you're saying, that there isn't an equal level. I personally go a step farther. Further. I go a step further because I am an actual parent of an actual human being that, as you just stated, needs a lot more like care, love, and attention, like eye to eye every single day, whether it's from me or her mother, or even my future stepson. He's 13 years old, but he still needs that, attention. That to call yourself a parent to an animal is in a way disingenuing what actual parents do for humans, because there's so much more level of attention that human children need from human parents, that saying I'm a parent, using that term, I'm a parent to a fur baby, it lessens what the meaning of parent really is. That's my issue.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't... I'll disagree with you there. I mean, like, parent is supposed to be someone who, like, nurtures and stuff, right? And you are nurturing the dog, but just not in the same way. That's why you have to add that clarification.
Yeah. You're not wrong with the nurturing aspect of it.
Also, here's the other thing, is when does it come up is also a very important part of this, right? Because if you're bringing this up, like, you're filling out like an official form for a hospital or something, and they're like, hey, do you have any children? You're like, oh, I have a fur baby. And it's like, okay, crazy, there's the door. You're like, I'm here for my crazy. I don't care. Please leave. There's a problem right there.
Yeah, right.
Alternatively, though, if I'm having a conversation at dinner and I'm like, oh, haha, I'm a parent to a fur baby, who cares? It's just a matter of like, you don't lose that, like,
so
status.
Context.
It's context is the most important thing. You still have that, because if you don't have, you can have a fur baby and you can say you're a parent, but maybe not in like an official scenario. Yeah, I have kids. I have 12. I'm sorry, you have 12? Yeah, cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge discrepancy there when, someone's filling out an official form versus just at dinner. Oh, haha.
Sure. I'm trying to think of an analogy that you might be able to say, oh, okay, I can maybe see it from that point of view. So I guess go with me on this one.
Okay. Because
you just had a COVID scare.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so for those 24 hours, you had no idea either. And you could, if you said to somebody, yeah, no, I had a scare myself. I thought I might have had contracted COVID, and someone else is like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I thought I had the flu." No, that's not the same thing at all, because A, there's solutions to fixing the flu, and B, we don't know how bad COVID is because we don't have enough testing into it, so you can't really compare the two at all. Yes, they're diseases, and yes, they're brought up by they're brought up by viruses, but they're not the same thing. They're not in the same level. So saying that how I feel isn't the same thing, because you could go anywhere and say I have the flu and they'll give you an antibiotic or whatever it is that they give you, or you just try to breach it out. COVID is hitting people so much harder than the flu is, that when someone says to you that you might have COVID, that is way more scary than someone saying, "Oh, it's just the flu." So that's like when someone says to me, "I'm a parent of a fur baby," or something to that effect. Yes, context matters, but the way it feels to me is, A, are you a parent of an actual human? Then if you're not, then you don't know what actual parents have to go through. Not to say that
like that's not quite the same analogy, though. Like, although your analogy kind of works, like in that scenario, I feel like the equivalent would be like, oh, we might be pregnant, and it's like, oh, well, I might be adopting a fur baby, and it's like, that would be a better, like, compared to what you gave me analogy, like that would be like analogy for that.
Sure. So we'll take your analogy then, because it sounds like you can maybe connect
no, that's not an analogy. That's like what it seemed like you were describing with your analogy, and less of what you were trying to go for. Because
I guess
the seriousness is the issue here is like the seriousness of it, right? The issue here is how serious are you when you say I have fur babies, I am a parent to a fur baby. And I think that really is really what it boils down to, is like if you're saying it in like a casual conversation, and you're just like, oh, I've got things I need to take care of at home, and I can't just like for me, I don't have anything. So if I want to go on a vacation for a week, we can just go. I can just put in the PTO and we're gone.
Right.
Whereas someone who has a child, like that's next level, where you have to like find someone who's willing to watch them, Whereas if you have like a cat or a dog, like sometimes the cat can be fine for, oh, you're gone for 3 days, the cat's fine. Oh, you're gone for a week, then have the neighbor check in every couple days. But like it's that level of seriousness of like, how serious are you when you say I have fur babies, I'm a parent to a fur baby? It's like, okay, are you just saying that as in like in that context exactly, like, hey, do you want to go to this vacation? It'll be like 3 days. Oh, I've got fur babies at home, I've got to worry about them, and I don't have the money to really crate them or anything like that. And it's like, in that context it works. Like, I'm a parent to a fur baby, I don't really have the ability to do that. All right, that perfectly makes sense. It works in that context.
If you call them fur babies, I don't care. But saying that I'm a parent to those fur babies, that's what really hits me, because you're just a pet owner. You can be a compassionate pet owner and really show your love and devotion to those pets, but you're still a pet owner, because even if you weren't there, if those animals somehow got out of your house, there's a high chance that they would be not fine, obviously, but they would be possibly generally okay, or maybe even like found by somebody else, or just, they'll be strays. But when a kid does that, it's a whole thing. Like,
right.
So again, going back to the thing that you were saying before, how they're not equal, I feel like there's enough people that are making it equal, and it's using that term parent is causing that level of equality that really isn't there.
I feel like it's less of the wording and more of the issue of the person.
Do you think it's the intent? So our mutual friend who said this, said this around Father's Day. I want to state right now, I don't really care about Father's Day. Don't really care about Mother's Day. It's great to show support for your mother and father. You should do that every single day. You don't need a day for it. And when he said, everyone is saying Happy Father's Day to me, Happy Father's Day to our other friend who has kids down in SoCal. And then our friend in Texas said, well, I'm a dad. I'm a parent of a fur baby. And
because he's trying to stir you up.
I don't think he knew that bothered me before, though. I don't think he knew that. And so when he said that, it didn't bother me. And my response was more like jokingly, whatever. It was your response to that stirred the pot. Your response of, oh, Tony doesn't like that. And then our other friend in Texas was like, oh, he doesn't, does he? And he got all high and mighty, like, I'm a dad.
No, that's true. That's true. He was just making a joke.
He was making a joke, which is fine. My response to the joke was fine. And then
here's the thing. Here's the answer is he made a joke, and then I made him aware of your like disdain for that.
Right.
And that immediately switched him into, ooh, I know how I can push Tony's buttons.
Yeah.
Let's push all of them. Let's run our hands across all the buttons. Let's make a Christmas tree.
No, it was and that's the thing, like with our group of friends, like there is a limit in which I can handle some of those jokes, because it's just like, okay, I get it. Like, right? Like, I'm like, okay, we're done. Like, I will even join in with the joke and deprecate me to join in with the joke.
I mean, that's the fastest way to kill a joke, right?
But it doesn't always kill the joke. And you guys keep pushing. I'm like, no, okay. I don't even know where to go from here, because I've already felt like I've hit rock bottom on digging into myself. And you guys somehow find another hole to dig into. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to keep going? I didn't realize that. And maybe this is a different conversation of more of how not to, to poke the badger with Tony, and less of the whole parent to fur baby situation. But going back
I think, I want to stay on this for a second. I think that the issue there is everybody knows lately you've gotten really mad at Apex. And so people like just being like, how little can I push this before I get a reaction? It's just like, it's like playing Jenga. Like you're just like tapping it, just tap, 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 and seeing how little it takes to knock the whole tower over. Just like, okay, come on. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, but then our friend in LA is like, oh, I'm going to pick up these 3 blocks from the bottom. No, don't pick up those blocks.
No. There are people who don't play the game Jenga, and they play, let's just strong arm it.
Yeah. So if we're on that topic, I'd just like to say I feel it's very one-sided, and there's a lot of going to me when I just join the chat and it comes out of nowhere. I'm like, "Hi guys, how's it going?" Oh, like oh, okay. I guess
everyone gets that response. Everyone gets that response, and everyone responds the same way. Well, okay. And that's what happens. It is what it is.
Well, either way, I feel like you and I are emotionally on the same page of the fur baby, parent of a fur baby, not being equal. So I'm glad to hear that. I still stand by my whole thing of the wording to say that I'm a dad of a fur baby. And like when I think what it is when someone says, yeah, I got to pick up my kids from soccer practice. Yeah, I got to take my kid to Taekwondo practice. Like, oh, I got to take my kid to the vet. What? That's the issue that I have. Like what our friend was saying, not an issue. It's when someone inserts themselves in a very serious manner, I gotta take my kid.
That goes back to that. That goes back to what I was saying. Of like when you're this serious conversation, it's like, oh man, my kid was so sick. Yeah, my fur baby was so sick, and it's like, I mean, I could understand if it was I don't know, it's just like, honestly, it's just better just to not, like, it's so difficult to get that right of like, you know, there is a right way of like entering that conversation. Oh, my kid was so sick. Oh, my dog was so sick. And it's like, there's a way that could work, but it's so narrow.
If someone says my kid is so sick and all you have is a dog or a cat, like, well, I don't know how that is, but the last time little Schloopy over here got sick, he vomited all over the rug, and it was a crap ton of mess. I hope you don't have something similar. Like, that would maybe be like, you're trying not to be at the level of the involvement that I'm at, but you kind of see where I'm coming from, and I would appreciate that way more than you just saying, "Oh, I know exactly how you feel. Schmoopy got sick too." Like, no.
Well, the other issue there is like, you can't forget about the people who have fur babies, and that's all they can have. They can't have kids for one reason or another, and so their fur babies are their life. Like, they are so attached to them, like that is their kids, and so that's where it gets hard of like,
right. And
it's so per scenario,
right? And when we were talking about this, I was really trying to steer away from the conversation of, well, if something happens to your fur baby, you can go out and get another one just as easy as the first time you got it. And that's not true. Like, if you're truly attached to your dog or your cat and they pass away, it might be months or years before you get somebody else to, I don't want to say replace, but fill that void, right?
That's a good way of saying it, yeah.
So I didn't want to get into that, but at the same token, if I have to kind of get into that, it is easier because all you have to do is go to a breeder or go to the rescue pound or go, like, to have a kid. It's either you try to fix what's happening inside you, or you go adopt, which is
right,
you know, way more expensive up front to acquire said child. But adopting a dog, there is a process. I will give it that. There is a process. But in my opinion, it's not as high level intensity process of adopting a child.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm saying. There's so much more high level intensity stuff being a parent of a human, that saying that you're a parent of a fur baby is disingenuous to the term parent. If you want to say it off the cuff as a joke, not even as a joke, but just to be cutesy, fine. But if you mean it, and if you're like, yes, I'm a parent and I'm devoted to these kids of these hamsters, no. All
right.
Well, all right. If you are watching, totally not a different day. Thanks a lot, guys, for listening and watching. Quinnton, where can people find you?
On, well, I would say Mixer, but Twitch at Firewall and Instagram at Firewall.
As for my stuff, you can always find me in those places under Lazy Tech Tony. Super simple to remember. You can find both of us under Still Recording Podcast at Instagram. Also, we're on Reddit under Still Recording. And of course, our main page at Anchor.fm. So, until the next time.
Bye, guys.
Hi.